おいおい、ゆえこんな状況で何を言って、一体どうした？え？
はじめさん、私どうにかなりそうです。
All right, my friends, we have season 3, episode 7 of Arifureta, and I am making peace with this episode. Now, as you guys know, Arifureta is anime god's gift to us all peasants here roaming thy earth. But here's the thing. I think episode 7 was probably the worst episode of season 3 yet. And it's okay because I think it was still an enjoyable episode. I just think that they were going for something very specific here, which I think is totally okay. I don't think they nailed it all the way. I think they nailed it in certain moments of the episode that I really enjoyed. I think Tio was an absolute highlight this episode for sure. But here's the thing. This episode was a transitional episode as they got out of the dreamlike states that they were all in, and they were transitioning into the next thing, which is continuing to explore the labyrinth and take on the tree. And at first, that is completely okay, but basically all of what that transition really entails is them just kind of moving on to the next task or like the next feat that they have to overcome and face. Now, throughout that transition from them getting out of their little cells, buckets, little orangey goo, whatever it was, to, kind of the end of the episode where they have to face these cockroach monsters, basically they really kind of fed into, one was them coming out of the dreamlike states and all having very different dreams about Hajime. I specifically like Shizuku the most because obviously she dreamt about being a princess and Hajime was her prince. And when Yue is kind of like, yo, what did you dream of? What did you dream of? And she's like, oh, I don't know. She looks like, oh, Nagumo. And the freaking Kaori and who was it? Shay were just looking at her like, you son of a, And we all knew in that moment, I was like, yes, of course. Shay had her own dream, Yue had her own dream, obviously Hajime had his own dream, Kaori had her own dream where Kaori got all kinds of really red and everything. So really what they were going for this episode was just a lot of flirtatious, funny fan service. And again, in moments it hit. I think when all the girls, got overcome by the slime, the goo, you know what I mean? It was a lot of fan service. I guess, there's, when it comes to slime is supposed to represent a certain excrement, and a lot of people really enjoy that. And that is a fan service in its own way. The whole slime thing, they showed Kaori and Shay and Shizuku in a lot of different promiscuous positions and stuff like that. They showed Tio just getting showered by all the slime. And again, a lot of fan servicey moments this episode. And after that, they really try to go in for the funny, for the comedy. And I think they nailed it, with Tio, saying like, oh, she was like, oh, hey, master, how are you, master? Are you okay, master? And he's like, yo, is this a bit? Like, why aren't you not affected? She's like, this is nothing for me. As Yue and Kaori are all over Hajime, like, help me, release me. And I thought that they nailed it. And I thought they really hit that there. The cockroach stuff never really hits for me. I know it's a big, what do they call it? It's a big thing in Japan. It's like a trope. It's a big trope in Japan when it comes to cockroaches and their fear of cockroaches. I think there's two big tropes in Japan. It's one, the fear of cockroaches, and then two is getting a death cold. When you get sick, you get like this cold that you're like on your deathbed right after it rains. Those are those two kind of tropeistic things that they like to shove in anime quite a bit when it comes to Japan. So big thing about the cockroaches and stuff. But by and large, this was a transitional episode getting us to the next event that's going to occur. They mostly nailed what they were going for. But there were just moments of just like, it was fine. It was just like, I was just watching. I wasn't entertained. I wasn't overly entertained. I wasn't overly bored. I wasn't, really laughing. I was just watching, just being a part of it. So I would say this was probably about a 6 out of 10 episode this week. Even, reviewer hat and or, mega fan, hat of Arifureta. I think both are gonna simultaneously agree. This is about a 6 out of 10 episode. They nailed most of what they were going for this episode, but not all. And in moments, I can see how somebody might, even if you're a mega fan, I think you could be bored in certain moments, which is okay. But hey, if the fan service is something that you really enjoy, it could definitely have uplifted the episode. If Tio is your favorite character, if she's best girl to you, then this episode could have been a little bit better than a couple of the other episodes. It just really depends on what you're looking for and stuff. So yeah, Arifureta episode number 7. About 6 out of 10, mostly okay. Next week, we're going to go on to the next episode. And next episode, I don't know if did they put at the end what next episode is called? Next episode is called Grab Hold of Hope. So I assume that they're going to be completing the labyrinth next episode. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week for episode number 8 of Arifureta. You guys stay up. Have a good week. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays, my friends. Peace.